was comp today?
It sucked. Thanks
Why?
for asking.
Why?
Mr. Slater took my phone away.
Why?
Because it fell out of my pocket. And he's like,
That's
oh, I
dumb.
don't
You weren't
confiscate
even
that.
using it?
Nope.
Out
So
of his
did
pocket.
you get it back?
Yeah, I got it. My parents had to go pick it up. Like I was a little kid.
I hate that class. I literally, like, my lit narrative was so horrible, I just, like, threw it in. I think I, like, got an F on it. It was trash. Like, it was the worst thing I've ever written, but I don't even care about that class.
Rhetorical analysis for me.
Op-ed.
Mine was the argument, but what I'm really worried about is project.
Yeah,
What are we doing in this project?
I have no idea
idea.
what we're going to do.
Not a clue.
Like, I have no idea.
I don't even...
I don't know.
Guys, look who's calling me. Speaking of the devil.
What? How does he have your number?
Why?
Mr.
That's
Slater?
weird.
Yeah.
Stalker.
Hold on, I gotta answer this. Talk to me. What? No. No. Wait, no, hold on. He hung up.
He hung up
What
on
did he
you.
say?
Well, he said he took all of our papers that we turned in. And he hid them.
What?
What do you
He
mean
says-
by he hid them?
He says we have till tomorrow at 3 o'clock to take into consideration his annotations that he put on these papers and turn them in a final copy that is not trash. Because he thinks all of our essays that we wrote this far this year is trash.
Is he, like, watching this? How does he... What?
How are we supposed to
how are
find
we
them?
supposed to find them?
He's supposed to send
Guys,
us
I
clues.
just got a text from Mr. Slater.
I did too.
It said, mine says, into the woods to grandmother's house, you will find your literacy narrative.
The woods?
Yeah, right?
Woodmarts? Rick? Woodmart?
I don't know.
You will find your rhetorical analysis where you can analyze the ratchets.
Walmart.
Walmart. People.
Yeah, that's about it.
Got it.
Walmart.
Do you get one?
Me? You will find op-ed essays where all the basics hang out.
Starbucks?
Wow.
Okay. Thank
Wow.
you, Mr. Slater.
He says you find your argumentative minute of essay, where he took my phone earlier today. So, obviously he's talking about the school.
Oh, well, Mr. Slater be sliding into
So what
our
do we-
DMs like.
What are we
So-
doing about this?
I guess we go find them. We don't
We
have
gotta
any
go
other
find him,
choice.
guys. Let's go.
This
is
is
so
much
annoying.
I'm
This
so
was
done.
not part of the deal.
Things to do.
Ugh.
I have so many finals.
We have.
No.
Nope.
I don't know where else to look.
Have you found it yet?
No.
Come on, Drake.
We've got.
Guys, I found it. Yes.
Are we supposed to find it in the woods? Why would he choose this? What kind of English teacher puts our papers in the woods?
I don't think we have enough time.
I don't think we're going to find it.
I'm just kidding.
Where are we supposed to
No trespassing. We gotta hurry up.
Oh, what's that? I don't know what that. I hate you, Neha. I'm scared. I hate you. We need to get flashlights or something. Here, I got it.
Madre, really productive in helping search.
Oh, right here.
Oh, Madre, I you found it.
Let's go.
Do I give you guys some of my paper?
No. What?
Hey, I think you guys seen that paper by chance? Alright, thank you though. Anybody? You guys see it anywhere? I don't know. That's even a better question. Really is.
Guys, I don't see it.
Alright, I'm gonna. Hey, you guys have my paper? Yeah, here it is. Thank you. That's fine. Okay. What are you guys? I dropped the toilet seat.
Anywhere I left it somewhere, or a teacher left it here.
What kind of paper is it?
It's a rhetorical analysis.
I've never heard of that.
Well, if you see a paper, just let me know.
I sure will.
Thank you.
How you go?
Nope, not under new.
Drake?
We're doing it.
Did you even know? Did you even read it? I really need to dye my hair again. You should do it. Do you find it? Oh.
Alright then. Mr. Slater. Wow.
Alright guys, now that we found our papers, Mr. Slater has been nice enough to leave us some peer-revised comments on it. What has he left you, Kate?
Okay, on my op-ed, he left the fact that I need to focus on my punctuation and fix it, look at my simple spelling errors, and fix my word and word choice and phrase agreement.
Alright, Neha?
Well, mine was my rhetorical analysis, so I had to mainly fix my word choice and really express the rhetorical devices my Cameron Russell used.
Alright, Palmer?
Okay, mine was basically, Mr. Slater said that I really need to bring out my voice in this story because when you don't have a voice in a story, it's the most boring thing ever, and that I need to use better word choice and organize my ideas so that way people understand and that way they're intrigued in what I'm writing about.
Alright, and in my argumentative essay, he basically told me that I needed to be more concise in my wording and not just ramble on and on about words. And he also told me that one of my paragraphs was kind of irrelevant because I was labeling a personal experience and it doesn't really give a sense of authority or anybody that is credibility that wrote it, So I'm probably just going to fix that.
You probably should.
I will.
Okay, Kayla, what are you going to change?
Well, he made comments about my punctuation and my spelling and stuff, which is basically conventions. And I feel like all throughout the semester that's something I've sort of struggled with. But throughout the semester I think it has improved because I have acknowledged that it's what I struggle with. And it's the downfall of my papers. And I just think that I oftentimes forget to like look over my papers and do the revisions before I turn them in, and I wait till last minute to like fix them, you know? And I think that to fix them, I just need to read over my papers, like read aloud, or have somebody sit down and read them with me, and add in the commas and like see something and be like, oh, that's actually not the word it's supposed to be or whatever, and make sure like all the agreement like between verbs and subjects and all that little things. And I just feel like that was my major like challenge of the semester, was my conventions and like learning how to use them in my paper, because obviously we all know what they are. Like we've done them for 12 years, like we've learned them forever, and it's just a matter of actually using them to make my papers better.
What activities helped you throughout this paper?
Throughout the paper, I think that not just throughout the paper, throughout the semester, like the first, I guess, unit that we did was the whole grammar convention stuff, and how we had a quiz, and we did like that few activities in our notebooks and like realizing just little things that we've all always known that we just kind of forget about, I think, and don't realize the importance of.
Yeah, like I realized writer's notebook after I wrote all my essays, like, oh, that was the purpose of this.
It was actually really helpful, I feel like, and it sort of helped prepare us to write each essay, or like during the essay, the little things we did.
Agreed.
So you're gonna have to change a lot in order to turn that in tomorrow?
I think so. Might be an
I
all-nighter.
I have a lot to do tonight.
Oh, okay. At least
It'll
he's
be worth
giving
it.
us a chance, so.
Yeah.
I think it'll be worth it.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, mine was the rhetorical analysis. It was probably the hardest paper everyone's written, at least as far as I know. It was really hard writing this essay, especially since my peers didn't know what they were doing either. And I didn't just have one person check it, I had a couple. And I tried getting outside help too, like from my sister, but this was like, she hasn't written a rhetorical analysis in like forever. And it was really hard for me to understand what is really expected from this paper. Like, I had no idea. My first draft was like basically just summarizing the whole speech I chose, which was Cameron Russell, looks aren't everything. And so, but my biggest problem was word choice and actually like defining all the rhetorical devices Cameron Russell used towards her audience. I mostly talked about like what she did and how she did things, but I didn't talk about like why she did all that to explain to the audience, which he told me in the feedback that I should be using and basically changing in my essay. And the reason why I think word choice is so like important is because like selecting precise words will help you increase the impact you create on your audience, which Cameron Russell did do that in her speech, but I never wrote about that. Like the little details is what mattered in my essays, which I obviously did not do. I mostly just summarized the whole speech. So it was hard doing this essay when no one knew what they were doing, and the only person that helped me was Mr. Slater in this. And the activity where we did the whole ad, like we chose like an ad and wrote about it, that kind of helped me, and we did that before writing this essay, so I kind of went back to what I wrote about that and looked into it, and I think that's what's going to help me rewrite this essay again.
So, how important would you say that peer revision was? Like,
I feel like if I got more advice, I would have done better. And I think peer revision, like after two people had no idea what they were doing, I just kind of quit and went to Mr. Slater, which I probably should have like gone more and asked more people about it, because towards the end everyone got it, but I got lazy and I was like, well, I have no idea what I'm writing. I'm just going to turn this in. But after I got this essay back and like feedback, I realized that this is what I need to change, and I just need to do it, like sit down for like 2 hours and just write it.
And do you think now, like, after receiving his feedback, did you understand, like, rhetorical devices more? Because I know I didn't really understand them, but, like, after reading over that, it really helps.
Yeah, his feedback really helps because he's actually, like, he's just honest, which is what I like about it. Like, he just tells you what's wrong with it, and I take no offense to that. Like, I'm just like, all right, yeah, this is what I need to do. So, but he told me to use more of, like, ethos, pathos, and logos, and I probably didn't see that Cameron Russell was using all those, but now that I look back and read her speech over again, I see it. So, that's what I would do. What about you, Kristen?
Okay, my biggest problem was, like, the first time I turned this in, it was super, like, just kind of like a story, but it was like a story like how, like, a 5th grader would write it. Like, it didn't have any dialogue in it. It was just, like, me just going through, like, it was horrible because I didn't have anything that stood out. It was just, like, any other story that would have been out there. And so he really showed me that I need to find my voice, and that through that I need to use better word choice. Instead of using words like said, I need to use words that like retort. Instead of using words like walk, I need to use words like march, because if I don't do that, then people won't envision it in their minds, and if that doesn't happen, they won't be consumed by the story, which means that they won't like it, because a really good story pulls you into like the main character, and like you're there with them through everything, and I wasn't doing that at all, so I really need to change that. And not only through like word choice, but also through organization, because the organization of your ideas is like really important, because if people don't understand where you are in the story, they're gonna get lost and then they'll stop paying attention. And my story kind of had a flashback, but like I had to learn how to make that flashback like clear, or else people will just get confused with the whole time lapse. So yeah.
And that now that you brought up the word choice, that writer's notebook entry where you had to just like, we got with a partner and just listed words that were.
Yeah, that really helped me on this, because then I could go through and I could use that list and like just swap out like the words that made sense. And it's just like writing with voice is just like everyone else's voice. Like you're not going to use, like everyone has a different voice, so not everyone's voice is going to be the same in their writing. Exactly. Or else like people don't want to read something that's the same as everyone else. People want someone else's view of the world that's different from everyone else's, because that's what makes it interesting, because it's not the same.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I really need to change tonight. And it's going to be really hard, but we'll push through with our all-nighter.
It'll be worth it. We can get some more Starbucks.
So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I think the thing that really helped me, though, was meeting with him, because he, like, really showed me that I really need to put my voice into it, because my voice wasn't in it. And he showed me, like, how to do it. But until then, I didn't really understand. And I really think that this piece, like, is going to help me, like, turn around and become a better writer. So,
I think after listening to both of you, like, one thing I didn't take advantage of was, like, going to him for help a lot of times. Because I was almost, like, I think I'm not afraid, but I was, like,
intimidated?
I'm like, my papers are so bad. And I know he was, like, honest and helpful, and he just wants us to do good, but it's just, like, I don't want to go to him for every paper, and I feel like I missed out on taking that opportunity to actually really get the help that I needed, and now I have.
Yeah. But at least you got the feedback, so you actually know, like,
and you can, like, redo it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really glad that he, like, gave us this chance to do this.
Okay.
That was cool.
How about you, Drake?
A little harsh, but
what did he say about yours? What do you need to change?
For me, I think the main thing I need to change has got to be not rambling and being concise. And like you guys said, I probably should have took advantage of conferences with him, because I did that with my first essay, the lit narrative, and it seemed to have helped me a lot. Like, I incorporated a lot of the thoughts that he gave me. But for this one, I just had my peers review it, which is all, like, for me, like, that's my, like, key part in my essays, because I like when my peers criticize my essays and, like, tell me how bad it sucks, because, like, that gives me motivation to make it better. And, like, they actually give really good advice on how to change it. But, like, as far as being concise, like, I feel like that goes above many of the peers at our level. And it's something that only, like, the person grading it or your teacher would notice, because not many people point out how you ramble.
Yeah.
And they just point out, like, grammar errors and stuff like that.
Especially with your topic, it seemed kind of, like, difficult, which was cell phones allowed in school.
I feel like another thing, though, like, with the rambling is sometimes we don't like, notice it because we do it so much, too.
Mm-hmm. And like, because we believe in it, and we think we're, like, supporting our evidence when
by
really
just, like, going on
off at the world.
Yeah.
Another thing I probably need to focus more on would be, like, my audience. I didn't really have a specific audience, and I needed to, like, again, make it more concise and narrow it down, and because I didn't really write my paper to center around my audience. Like, I would explain things that my audience should have already known, and, like, that just rambles on in my paper. But
I feel like knowing your audience, too, can really help with what you should and shouldn't have in your paper, because if you have, like, a more educated audience, like scientists or whatever, about the subject, like, there's a lot of information they won't need to know, whereas, like, if you have somebody that's, like, younger and doesn't know as much, there's a lot more that you're going to need to, like, teach them about it.
Yeah. And, like, the biggest thing that helped me throughout this essay, like, I didn't include too much of the opposition points, but when we did the activity to where someone else found sources for you and found the opposition for you, like, just the sources they found, like, really helped me out, because I was having trouble finding a ton of sources on allowing cell phones in school, because, like, a lot of people are against it, but I'm taking alternate side to it. But other than that, like, the paper wasn't too hard to write. It's more like I need to make it better.
What
You need to figure out-
activity do you think helped you the
Like-
best?
I don't know. Probably the one that, like, we traded papers. And, like she said, the writer's notebook one's about, like, listing words to make your word choice better. Because I always focus on word choice in my papers. Like, I try to make it the best I can, but I always struggle with that also.
Yeah.
It's 2:55, guys, come on! Guys, you already left. What should we do?
You know what? We're just gonna slide into those DMs.
His phone, your keys.
Is that? Oh, one, two.
Oh, that's sad.
Oh, I don't. I'm not good at this ball. I'm good at this. Yeah.
What's the difference?
Me and Corey Rickman come here all the time to play this game. You know?
You're not good.
I got one more down now. I always play this, like, you don't understand. Every time I come to Walmart, I play this.
Get back.